We see what's going on in the streets. We see the violence taking place up here now. This used to be a thing where we'd watch it happen south of the border. I'm like, whoa, can you believe what's happening in the USA? And then now it's here. And in a lot of ways, we've allowed, as you said, we've allowed it. The typical good nature of Canadians has been taken advantage of, where it's like, oh, maybe they didn't mean it that way, or maybe they were trying to get at this and they're just using the wrong approach. And it's like, no, these people just don't like you. And they're making it very clear. Yeah. Like it's black and white now. And I can't say, I just don't know where we go from here. Like aside from politicians coming forward and speaking against it, like where that leaves the regular Canadian, I don't know. Especially if this government continues to be allowed to operate as they are, people are going to start getting more desperate than they already are. They already can't afford the groceries and their housing. And then they're going to start seeing people take a tax on their identity as abroad. Like, I don't know where this goes.
I think that's been an issue. You know, I was talking about this on TikTok last year and people were mad at me for saying that, where, you know, there's that conversation where people say, oh, well, this is provincial or this is provincial. Be mad at your premiers. Number one, absolutely. We're currently in the election period in Saskatchewan right now. Make the decisions that you want to make. But at the same time, let's not pretend that our federal government is not playing an active role in this, because you can blame the provinces all you want. You can blame the feds all you want. But at the end of the day, when you have, you know, a single mom going to the grocery store who can't afford to buy her child healthy food, or you have a person that's choosing between paying their rent and paying for food or whatever it might be, and then they turn on the television or they look at the media and it's Justin Trudeau saying that, you know, Canadians are doing great, everything is fine. And it's only in the last year where that messaging has actually started to change, where it's like, okay, we do recognize Canadians are having a little bit of a hard time. We're going to be the ones to get you out of it. But it's almost like it's too late. Like, you can't gaslight people out of this. And I am getting concerned. I would be lying to you if it's not concerning to leave my house and see, you know, the most homeless people I've ever seen. And I live in a city that's majority First Nations. Like, I would say 90% of the people that are homeless are First Nations people. That's a federal responsibility, but it's just been so mismanaged and everything's just been a mess. And then I turn on the media and the government is again fighting First Nations people in court, but we have liberals sitting online saying no one loves reconciliation more than the Liberal government. Really? Because I've never seen a government fight First Nations people in court this much. In 1 year, they spent tens of millions of dollars fighting First Nations people in court. Within the first 4 years, Justin Trudeau spent more fighting First Nations people in court than Harper did during his time in government. Like, Cernak spent more in one fiscal year than the other two large departments. The only department that spent more than Crown Indigenous Relations was the CRA. And just think about that for a second on how much the CRA has to spend in legal fees to fight people on taxes and stuff like that. Like, yet again, today, media, First Nations in court, of course we are. And it's just like nothing you say at this point is going to bring you out of this mess, because everything is just getting worse. And to just say, well, it's the provinces. Well, no, it's also the federal government. It's trickling down to our provinces. And yeah, our premiers do have a role to play in this, but it's getting bad. And I am honestly getting concerned.
So I didn't know about any of that. I didn't know that.
By the way, tell me how you really feel about that too.
Yeah, I'll get into it. Yeah, I legitimately, I didn't know that. I'm curious. I'm sure there's a myriad of issues that they're going to court over, which I'm sure a lot of it has to do with land. But like that is quite frankly probably one of the more damning statistics that I've heard shared. That this government's been in court more with Indigenous people than Harper ever was. Which that was the big knock on Harper was the fact that he just ignored Indigenous relations altogether. That's saying something.
I think, you know, there obviously is some important context to that. The fact that, you know, in today's day and age, legal fees are obviously going to cost more. So there's the inflation portion to the legal fees. But there's also like been some big issues where this government that talks nonstop about reconciliation has been tested on. Child welfare. They were fighting First Nations kids in court. You know, First Nations policing. Oh, we love First Nations. But it's like, that is one of the number one issues that I really want people to recognize, is that now more than ever, our nations across the country are asserting jurisdiction. They're asserting their autonomy. They're trying to advance sovereignty, and they are being met with this. they're being met with a government that says, whoa, 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 is this good for our business model? Because back in 2017, we split the departments, we made two, we ballooned the bureaucracy. Not this liberal government loves facilitating the Indian Act. We have two departments now. But at the same time, it's like they've had their opportunity to really showcase reconciliation, and it's met with, resistance almost always, and it's sickening.
That was electric, wasn't it? Well, we enjoyed it. Hope you did too. If you did, you can check this video out here to the top right corner right near my window. Get over. There it is. There it is right there. And if you liked that, you can also check this one right here. We love you. Have a good one. Peace out.